if I'm in your shoes, I'm thinking, where are people thinking about doing this type of research for like wood carvings and stuff like that? Probably Pinterest, probably Instagram, probably TikTok. Like those are channels that they're probably spending time. So how do I influence that? Same way, same SEO fundamentals, except applied to a different channel.
Yeah. Welcome to the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast, where we talk all things brand building SEO. I'm your host, Crystal Waddell, here to bridge the gap between SEO strategy and real world business success. Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketer, or SEO enthusiast, this is your place to learn, share, and build a brand that stands out. So grab a coffee or your favorite tea, and let's dive into smarter SEO for your business. So a quick question then about, like, say, AI overviews or any sort of LLM like ChatGPT. How do you feel about the fact that they take this content and generate their own answer without sending the user to the site or the source?
It is a fundamental shift in the way that we think about search and discovery, and organizations and businesses have to react. The question is, how do you react? Because the cat's out of the bag. This has been going back. We'll never see 10 blue links on the front end of Google probably ever again. We're going to continue to see answers directly in the search engine results page. And I think in the future, you're actually going to see the left clicks going directly to domains, and you're going to have transactions happening directly to Google. I envision a world where I'll say to Google, buy me tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles game next Tuesday, and it will do it. I won't have to click on anything. I don't have to click on whether I want to get my ticket from this ticket software or this ticket software. I think it's going to purchase it and it's going to show me 2 tickets and I get to select which one I want. I think that's the world that we're going into. And I don't think there's anything slowing that down. So what does that mean for businesses? I think for businesses, brand becomes more important than ever. Deeper connection with your customers becomes more important than ever. Having own channels where you control your direct influence on your customers matter more than ever. But also from an SEO lens, I think now is the best time outside of yesterday to create a significant amount of content that can be cited by the LLMs and ultimately influence the future LLMs. And thus, we should be creating content now that the future you will be grateful exists, because the LLMs are going to scrape it and use it to answer questions. So I don't love it, but I'm not someone to sit here and say, woe is me, this sucks, the world is crumbling and complain. I'm more of, let's take a proactive approach and let's go win. And the best way to win right now is to double down on storytelling, content, creating assets that are really unique to you, and then being intentional with producing as many as you can, which is easier now than ever because of AI, that will potentially influence the LLMs. That's where I'm at with it. What's your thoughts? I know it's the wild world. I'd be curious, Crystal, where's your head at on all of it?
Because I have a small e-commerce company, and I'm a manufacturer. I hand make or manufacture with a machine everything that comes from our business. My biggest priority since I started learning about SEO was like, do I see my revenue going up? And I first also had to fix my pricing, because as the revenue went up and profits didn't go up, I thought, okay, we got a problem here too. So once I fixed that, I go back to looking at, okay, this is how many visits I've gotten. How does the revenue compare year over year? And I'm a very small case study, but the traffic to my site in general has been down anywhere between 40 to 60%, less visits.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But the revenue is only down 5%.
Right. The intent is still high.
Yes. And there's a few different things you could take away. There's like, okay, I'm actually getting better traffic. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I see myself, like you said, getting more high quality buyers. And of course, I want to make up that 5% because I never want to be at a decline.
100%.
That brings up another set of questions.
Well, I think that comes down to and I don't know deeply around like your revenue source and where it comes from. But to me, I think that challenge that so many are going through should open up the eyes, in my opinion, to a clear solution, which is diversification. So again, it's like investing. In investing, if you want to have low risk, you need to diversify your investment. As a business owner, I want to diversify my revenue streams and the opportunities. Instead of playing the game of just Google, maybe I need to diversify so I start to show up on TikTok. Maybe I need to make sure that I show up on Etsy. Maybe I need to show up on Pinterest. Maybe I need to start showing up on other channels where there is demand for these types of things and that people have high intent. And if you can do that, you set yourself up long-term to be in a better situation because discovery also no longer happens just on Google.
Okay.
For so long, Google was the true sole source for all e-commerce queries, for all bottom of funnel queries. Don't get me wrong. I love Google. I think Google's still the number one and it's still crushing it. But there has been a shift. I don't use Google to find out what shirt I should wear. I'm using Instagram search and I'm going to find a whole bunch of people who are cooler than me wearing cool clothes. And then I'm going to go and try to reverse engineer where they bought it from. And when I'm trying to figure out how to improve my golf swing, I'm not going to Google anymore. I'm going to Instagram and I'm typing in golf swing tips and then I'm going to learn, or I'm going to YouTube. People's search behaviors have shifted. We as marketers and business owners have to put ourselves in the customer's shoes and think like, where are people actually looking for this? A few months ago, I was in San Diego and I was looking for a restaurant. Old fashioned raw, 10, 15 years ago, would have went to TripAdvisor. And I would have went out to Advisor. I would have sorted by top. I would have seen a whole bunch of sponsored restaurants that said where they should go, blah, blah, blah. I might have went to Google Maps and went with that. No, I said, I'm going to be hip. Where are the hip people? They're on TikTok. So let me go to TikTok and type in cool places to eat in this city. And then I have seen all of these cool people talking about all of these cool restaurants. So where do you think I went? I went where they told me. Google did not see any queries for me. They never will again when it comes to food. But that's the type of experience that I think people need to optimize for. So again, if I'm in your shoes, I'm thinking, where are people thinking about doing this type of research for like wood carvings and stuff like that? Probably Pinterest, probably Instagram, probably TikTok. Like those are channels that they're probably spending time. So how do I influence that? Same way, same SEO fundamentals, except applied to a different channel.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So I've got to throw it to our sponsor here in just a second, but I wanted to share a short story because this happened to me probably 4 years ago, before this whole idea of omnichannel marketing was so big. And then obviously the LLMs picking up everything. I had a person from Australia who was looking for a rugby poster, and she found the poster that she liked on Pinterest and she clicked through and somehow ended up on my Facebook page and messaged me on my Facebook page, and we talked there, and then she ended up buying on my website. But there was at least 2 places where she messaged me, but she got the same need. And so my message to small business owners in particular is, because you have limited means, most important thing that I found for myself is that people find the same me wherever they go. So like if I don't have the capacity to create all of this amazing content, if I can at least show up with consistent content, they're like, oh, that's Crystal. That's Lodge and Wood, whatever. That's the girl that I was, looking at her stuff over here. I recognize that brand. So I feel like that has been something that's really helped me over the last few years. And I've been so excited about, because when you become recognizable, you can still compete. And people have often thought that our business is much bigger than it is. Like I'll get an email and say, I was chatting with someone about X, Y, Z, and I just wanted to make sure that that was still going to happen. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll talk to her about that.
Being with yourself in a few hours. Yeah.
So speaking of Collage and Wood, let me go ahead and tell you about that. Your walls are bored, so let's fix that. At Collage and Wood, we'll cut your logo big, bold, and beautiful so that your home office screams, this is my brand. It's perfect for Zoom, bragging rights, and making your space 100% you. So get started today at collageandwood.com and create a backdrop you'll love. Okay, so let's go back to content distribution. When you distribute content across these platforms and you diversify, like you said, how does that impact your visibility in LLMs?
It was probably a year and a half ago now, we started to track the various sites that are being cited by the LLM. So when an LLM gets a query or a prompt from a user, they do this thing called a fan out, where they take your question and they ask you like 20 or 50 different ways. They use typically like a Bing or some other search engine to do that search. And then they're going out and they're grabbing information from the various URLs and then translating that, looking for signals that this is the response that is appropriate, and then it gives it back to you. If you are creating multiple assets on multiple domains, for example, LinkedIn.com or Reddit.com, we have seen that those domains, as well as Medium.com and Quora, are showing up more and more frequently in the citation. So as a brand, you need to be thinking, okay, how do we increase the likelihood that we are being talked about on these channels, or that we're creating content on these channels that align with the message that we want to be delivered to people who are using LLMs? By creating, distributing, or prompting people to create that type of content, you have the ability to influence the LLMs, because you're shifting the narrative and the opportunity sample size for yourself to be cited and for your story to be articulated in the appropriate measure. So that's the way that we've been thinking about it.
Wow. So it's so interesting because it's like you can't control everything, but you can influence a lot of things.
That's right. It's impossible to control. If someone tells you, hey, we can control the LLMs, they're lying to you. We can increase our probability of having the right message articulated at the right time. And it's a probability game and a likelihood game that is connected directly to what levers you're able to pull. Guest blogging is back, right? I think back in the day, guest blogging was considered a dead tactic in SEO, but because there's an opportunity to have multiple blog posts speaking on a certain topic, and if you can write things and articulate things that are positive for your brand, and Google or ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude, et cetera, are scraping that, you have an opportunity to be cited in a guest blog post as well. So I think that's the way that people should be thinking about it, is like, get as many opportunities that articulate your message in your way as possible on the internet so you can influence the LLMs.
Yeah. And I also appreciate your definition of fan outs, because I've seen that online and I was always meaning to kind of
right.
What does that mean? But that was the best explanation that I've seen. So I really appreciate that one.
You.
What about, because things are changing so fast, and like how do you stay focused and committed to a strategy without being like, oh, got to do that now, got to do that?
It's tough. It is so difficult, especially when you're a small business, because there's so many opportunities, but there's only so much time. And for me, I go back to a quote that my dad used to say all the time, and he would say, it's better to have one good kid than two bad. And I think the same thing exists with this whole mix. Like, it's better to be really, really good on one channel where you are crushing it, you're influencing it, you're moving the needle. You can see the ROI every time you do things. Then go try something new and be average, mediocre at best, or bad, and waste your time there. So to me, it's be focused upfront on being excellent on one channel. Own it, be great, drive it. Take Crystal's advice of promoting and being the same on other channels. So if you are excellent on LinkedIn, take the same LinkedIn stuff and share it on Twitter. Take the same thing and share it on Instagram. You might not be following best practice, but it's better than nothing. So just do that, but still be excellent on one. And then let's say you now just happen to find a way to get additional time in your life. Now let's experiment with Instagram. Let's try something, because now you have the time and the availability to do it. That's when you open yourself up. So you have to manage your time because it's limited, and you have to be very focused on striving to be excellent first and then moving on to the next.
Yeah, I'm laughing over here to myself because I'm like, that would make a great t-shirt, better than nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, so I told you that we're going to have like a rapid fire section. And so ideally, you'll give me a one-word answer, but if you feel really passionate about it and just need to riff on it right then, that's fine.
I'm going to do my best to do 1 or 2 word answers.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so number 1, SEO, GEO, IDC, or IDK?
GEO.
SEO is dying, yes or no?
No.
Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, or something else?
ChatGPT.
Best use case for AI in SEO?
Getting sleep patterns.
AI agents, hype, or breakthrough?
Breakthrough.
Google AI overviews, good, bad, or ugly?
Ugly.
Jobs in SEO or content marketing that AI is most likely to take in 2026?
Writers.
Jobs least likely to be taken?
Strategists.
Best AI-powered app for SEO that no one knows about?
Yes.
Did you say pass?
Did.
Ah, cool. Well, that just means you haven't created it yet.
That's true. That is true.
So was there anything that I asked there that you wanted to revisit or explain and expound on a little bit?
Let's go into this sleep
Thank
thing.
you.
People are probably saying, why in the world did you say that? I think we as SEOs, as marketers, spend way too much time thinking about how to optimize our websites and not enough time thinking about how to optimize our actual human lives. Like, we need to optimize for our sleep. We need to optimize for our health. Like, we think about these clicks and links way too much, and we think about our REM sleep way too little. And I think that is the biggest problem. Everybody's cranky because they're not sleeping enough. So they need to sleep and have a nap or something, because it's crazier. Y'all need to be easier on yourself. You need to chill out. Yeah, that's my message. Like, folks need to have a nap and chill.
I'm a huge fan of naps. Typically, I usually take a nap every day. But as we get access to ChatGPT and Gemini, all of the things, whatever, and we're asking more and more questions, and it's all synthesizing in place, how do we overcome the urge to do more with the time that we earn back? rather than just being like, oh, we earned this time back. Now we can go spend time with our family or our friends.
Right. Yeah. I think everyone has to figure out what is right for them. Everyone's balance is different. If you were talking to 24-year-old Ross, he was going aggressive intentionally every single day, low sleep, let me work until I crash. That was okay. So I was 24. That worked. However, today, after I'd kind of already established my family, I've got other priorities. I can't just grind until late into the evenings. If I do, I'm going to have a headache. I've got to find my own balance. Like I need to figure that out. So I think for me, and the advice that I give everybody is figure out what will work for you. What will work for you in your personal situation, in your life, and this time, in this chapter, in this era for you. And then make sure that you're good. Like you have to be good. If you're happy, if you're content, if you are satisfied with where you are and you are feeling good that you're going in the direction that you are trying to achieve, keep going. Don't worry so much about all the other stuff. Just like stay focused, keep going, do your thing. But also, my biggest piece of advice to anyone is to live by a calendar. The calendar is probably the greatest invention of human history, but so many people ignore it. We all should live by our calendar. I reflect on my calendar at the end of each week to see if my energy has been allocated to the things that are most important to me, whether that's work, my family, my friends, my own personal development, my health, my wealth, all those things. I reflect on it. And if it's off, then next week it's going to be right because I'm going to look ahead at my calendar. Today I'm going to take off the morning. Tuesday, I'm going to make extra time to find time to go for a run, whatever it might be. I'm going to do a tea party with my daughters next week. Like these little things you need to find in your calendar, I think anyway. Everybody does it different. I'm just saying calendars rule everything around me. Shout out to Wu-Tang that I've modified your saying. And that's the approach that I take. It's just like live by the calendar.
Yeah. I love that you said that because you gave some context and some examples of how you do it. And I think that's what people need more than anything, not just context, but just like, okay, what does this look like in practice? And those are some great tips. Yeah. So
thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ross, for spending this time with me today.
No worries.
So grateful. I want to say thank you so much for that. And if people are interested in connecting with you, following you, and seeing what you're up to online, can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X, whatever channel you can think of. I'm probably there. Just do a quick search for Ross Simmonds. But definitely check out the book as well. Create Once, Distribute Forever. It's a great book for folks to check out where we talk a little bit more deeply on some of the theories and the ideas that we had today. Crystal, shout out to you. Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed this interview today, and I hope your listeners get a lot out of it. And I appreciate what you're doing for small business owners, bringing education to their ears. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I will definitely put a link to the book in the show notes. Thank you guys for joining us today. And Ross, thank you again. Appreciate you being here.
No worries.
Before you go, don't forget, if you want to finally feel confident about SEO, check out my new AI SEO Foundations course. In just 7 days, Crystal GPT will guide you step by step to make your website more findable and your business easier to buy from. Ready to get started? Visit SEOin7days.com and let AI make SEO simple. That's SEOin7days.com with the number 7.